be one of the most comprehensive topics that are going to be covered in the IPD, because this is a topic that is of extreme contemporary relevance. It is a topic that is very prevalently discussed, and it is a topic in which a lot of people have confusions. Now, without any further ado, without wasting any time, let us directly get into the topic. But before that, let me give you the general instructions that I always give before the sessions. Your intentions need to be on the right track here, all right? The evidence that you are on the right intention is that you are listening very carefully and you're sitting very straight. So sit straight. Tell yourself that you're sitting in the session to gain more knowledge about Islam. And once you have done that, type yes in the chat. Sit straight, and keep the right intention. After you do that, say yes in the chat. This is very, very important. Very good. And also have a notebook with you. I don't want anyone sitting here without a notebook. It shows how committed you are. If you are just sitting there listening to, some other, entertainment show or something, don't sit in the session like that. All right. Have a notebook with you. Be very serious with regards to the ilm that you're getting. There's something called as ta'zimul ilm. Ta'zimul ilm means you basically respect the knowledge. So sitting straight in a good posture, having a notebook with you and writing very neatly, it's all part of respecting this knowledge that is divine. And also make sure you utilize the Zoom chat. I'll be asking you a lot of questions. All right. Let's keep it as interactive as possible. I like to have the sessions done in a very interactive manner. All right. I don't like to have it as a monologue. I like to have it as a dialogue. So I'll be asking you many questions. I want you to answer them in the chat. Interact with me through the chat. I'll try to keep a track on the things that are being posted in the chat, inshallah. The more you interact with me, the more output you will get through the session, inshallah, and the more beneficial it is going to be. All right. And also make sure not to use social media while in the session. Never ever use social media. No Facebook, no WhatsApp, nothing. All right. Don't use social media while in the meeting, and don't please open your microphone. All right. Now with that, let us directly start with the session. Let me start with a very simple question. All right. Let me start with a very simple question. And that is, what is a woman? Answer in the chat. What is a woman? What is a woman? Let me see the answers. What is a woman? Just shoot your answers in the chat. One who identifies as a woman, the usual liberal answer, right? And then when we ask them what is a woman, they basically go into cyclical argumentation. A biological female with XX chromosomes, all right? Another person says it's a gender, someone who has feminine qualities and female sex organs, all right? Adult human female, very good answer. A human with ovaries and a uterus, all right? Anyone who has XX chromosomes? Someone who can give birth, an adult human female, mashallah. Okay, so we're having a lot of answers. So a lot of the answers were based on biology. And biology is basically human reality. You can't deny biology. And biology very clearly manifests in psychology, right? There's no doubt in that. Okay, now let me ask you another question. What is a man? What is a man? What is a man? An adult male, head of the family. So what about people who don't have a family? One who identifies as a man. Come on, let's keep the definitions a bit more objective. Anyone can identify as anything. A beautiful creation of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. MashaAllah. It makes me feel happy as a man, but it is not a specific definition. Right? Because woman is also a beautiful creation. A child is also a beautiful creation, right? A human with XY chromosomes, okay, that is very definite and objective. Women are emotionally oriented and men are rationally oriented. That's a good answer. It's a psychological answer, generally speaking. Adult male with XY chromosome. All right, so we are seeing a lot of different answers. Now, these questions, if we asked this question 100 or 200 years ago, people would think you are joking. right? People to literally think that you're joking. Like, you're trying to ask a question just for the sake of asking, right? But today, these are one of the most prevalent questions that are being asked. And the saddest and funny thing here is that they don't have a very clear-cut answer for these questions. It is a very, very sad thing. They don't have a clear-cut answer for these questions. It is sad. What is a woman? And then they go into a cyclical argumentation. Like they have no idea what a woman is. And they say only a woman can define what a woman is. And a woman, you know, they bring in the argumentation of social construct. And there are a lot of fallacies that are constantly being used, right? Anyway, so it's a very sad reality. But as Muslims, we need to understand that there are only two genders. All right. Now let me ask you, how many genders are there? How many genders are there? If you guys say two in the public platform, you guys are going to get cancelled. They're going to call you a misogynist. They're going to call you a lot of different names, a bigot, right? There are even people who call it racism. I don't understand what is the connection between racism and this anyway, right? So there are obviously how many genders? Very good, 72 genders, right? We have a lot of genders today, right? We have female, we have male, we have bigender, example of female plus male. We have singe, neutrois, corn, intergender, demifend, demi-boy, hellboy. Subhanallah, that sounds satanic. Gender queer or non-binary, pangender or polygender, epicene, very epic. Gender fluid, example of female and males. Transgender, will of fire. What is will of fire? Sounds like some heroic cartoon or something. Between 1 and 3 north southward. What is this? Google Maps. Bigender, androgyne, and neutrois. Bigender, third gender, and demi-boy. Nergal, gender fluid, female and male. A turn off. Almost sounds like a software update. Gender fluid, third gender, and demi-girl. Australian male. Come on. What is Australian male? Why don't we have an Indian male gender? Right? Why don't we have an Arab male gender? Subhanallah. Agender version 1. So we are still waiting for updates. We're still waiting for version 2, version 3, version 4. And a curse of hatred. Whoa, like that's also sounds epic. Agender version gender void. A chaos undivided. Almost looks like some Illuminati sign or something. And we have Femi, we have Cianish, transvesti, NB, alia gender, third gender, agender or genderless, bipolar junction transistor. What is this? Electrical engineering, androgyne, civil attack helicopter. Now we're getting into war zone. Serious stuff here. We have demigod. Whoa. Then we have Unknown. We have Nazi. Yeah, Allah. We have Nazi gender. Then we have Earth. So now we're getting into the solar system. We're having Moon. We're having Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Separatist, Stargate. Whoa, mashallah. That's a new thing. We have trans arm. Sounds like a gang symbol or something. We have mayonnaise. Let's bring in shawarma as well into the picture then. We have Zion. We have rate of gender fluidity. Almost sounds like a, differential equation. We have prince. Sounds very privileged. We have trans nigger. Come on, that sounds very racist. Trans nigger. Anyway, we have butch. We have monsoon. So now we're getting into the seasons. We have probably expecting summer and winter also. We have Necron. Almost reminds me of a cartoon that I used to see. Necron, Megatron, Autobots rollout. We have demigender. We have assassins. That's also a game, that children used to play, Assassin's Creed. We have Sun, Mercury, Venus. So, solar systems, and soon we are expecting new systems, galaxies to be added into the picture, inshallah. So, we have a lot of opportunities here, a lot of space. So, there are a lot of genders and it keeps on increasing, right? I saw a video once in which they were having this large LGBTQ campaign, all right? And there was, few people from a channel or something going for interviews, and they went to a person, and they directly asked the person, how many genders are there? And the guy said, I don't know, I just got here, right? So they were basically adding genders, as each minute goes on, right? So that's the sad thing. And it all sounds very funny, but the sad thing is people take it seriously. People take it seriously. Why do you think we have LGBTQ plus? Like, what is this plus? It means it keeps on increasing. It's LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And it's not going to stop, right? I'm pretty sure after the alphabet stop, they're going to bring in alphabets from other, languages possibly, right? Probably in Arabic too, because Arab countries are also getting liberalized. Very sad reality. Very sad reality, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they bought in LGBTQ, alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, da, dha, ra, sin, shin, sad, dal, ain, ain, fa, qaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya, right? So they're just bringing in all these things, and it sounds really sad, right? It sounds really sad, and we need to put a stop to this. All right. Now, when we discuss about intergender interactions, we all need to be on the same page with regards to what gender we are talking about. Are we talking about the intergender interaction between Earth and Mars? Are we talking about the intergender interaction between civil or attack helicopter and Necron? Sounds like World War III or something. Are we talking about intergender interaction between Chaos Undivided and Stargate? No, we're just talking about two genders, all right? We're talking about male and female, all right? We're talking about male and female. A really good book that I would recommend to read on this topic is The End of Gender by Deborah W. So, who is a Canadian columnist, author, and former academic sex researcher. So received her PhD from the York University in Toronto. She has extensively researched paraphilia, suggesting that there are neurological conditions rather than learned behaviors. It's a really good book, right, to be read. And it starts with the title, the chapter on the war on biology. It's a very, very interesting book, highly recommended. But at the same time, don't take moral lessons from this book. She herself is a liberal, all right? We don't take moral lessons from anyone else other than Islamic scholars. But to get a general idea about the topic, this would be a good book to read. Now, let me remind you, this is not a session about LGBTQ activism. We'll hopefully have other sessions later on, inshallah. We'll have sessions later on that topic. We're just going to be getting into this topic of intergender interactions. So for that, like, we need to have a proper, like, we all need to be on a proper page. We all need to be on a proper page. Now, according to the mainstream normative position of Islam, as understood from the Quran and the Sunnah, which is the fundamental principles of Islam, or the fundamental backbones of Islam, or the fundamental sources of Islam, or the fundamental reference points of Islam, we have two discrete types of gender. And what are they? I want everyone to say it. What are they? What are the two discrete types of gender we have? And please don't say hellboy and son, all right? Male and female, very good. Very good. I'm so proud of you all. Even though it seems like a common sense answer, it is still astonishing that people will be able to give this answer. All right, like, this is something like an entrance examination question that should be asked during UPSC examination. It's that hard, right? Anyway, so there is no third gender or neutral gender in Islam. All right, let's make it very clear. There is no third gender or neutral gender in Islam. It is min dhakarin wa untha, right? Ya ayyuhan nas inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everyone from the male gender and female gender. Classical books of Islamic jurisprudence discuss legal rulings related to individuals that are born with physiological ambiguities, such as hermaphroditism and genital agenesis. We are not rejecting all these. Yes, hermaphroditism is a reality. It is there in some people. It's an abnormality. And Islamic jurisprudence actually is inclusive of this and discusses legal rulings on them. All right, we have khuntha, etc. So these are aspects in Islamic jurisprudence. We don't need to get there today because that is not our topic. But I'm just giving you these general informations so that you can benefit, and people who want to research more, you can continue researches. All right. Now, based on these methods, individuals with physiological ambiguities are also classified as being male or female. All right. We don't give them another category. It's basically male or female. It's male or female. Now, are we all on the same page? Do you all agree that there are only two genders? Do you all agree on this? Like, there are only two genders? If we are, then we can move ahead, inshallah. If not, then I would request you to do further research and further study and understand the truth about this matter, and don't fall into this liberal, filthy trap of cognitive dissonance. Okay. Now, the next question I would like to ask you is this. Are there clear differences between sexes? Are there clear differences between the sexes? Yes. Yes, there are. There is very clear difference between the sexes. All right. There is male and female. There is male and female, and there are clear-cut biological differences. There are clear-cut psychological differences. Very clear, very, very clear. And there is no doubt on this. There's no doubt on this, right? When I'm speaking to you guys with the sound that I have, all right? When you're hearing my sound, do you think that this is a woman speaking or is it a man speaking? It's a man. How did you understand that I'm a man? Why did you assume my gender? And now I'm offended, right? Anyway, it's very clear. I have male characteristics. I have male characteristics. And you can very clearly understand that I'm a male, right? That I'm a male. When the sister was speaking, before me, who is a volunteer of COJ, when she was speaking, did you assume that she's a man? Or sorry, he is a man? No, right? Like you understood that is a sister. Right? You understood that is a sister. So we can clearly see from here that males have certain characteristics and females have different characteristics. But very sadly, the feminists of today, they wouldn't even accept this. They would say, no, men and women are equal in all terms. Men and women are equal in all terms. Even cognitive abilities, no. Even in cognitive abilities, men and women are different. Men and women are different, right? There are a lot of books written on this. We have a book written by Luan Brizendine on the male brain. The same author, who is a doctor, has written a book on the female brain. So the male brain and the female brain are very different. The male brain and the female brain are very different structurally and functionally, right? Structurally and functionally. There's another good book called as Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. It's written by John Gray, Dr. John Gray. And it's basically about how different men and women are with regards to communication and how women perceive things very differently than how men perceive things. It is very different. It is very different. And this difference it is biological. There is nothing negative about this. All right. It is biological. It is the human reality, right? We need to accept the human reality as it is and then build on from there to address the sociological problems that we have. If we don't even accept the human reality, how do we expect these sociological or political problems to be addressed in the right way? A very, very sad reality. All right. So these are books that I would, recommend you to read. And let me remind you again that please not to take any moral lessons from this book. All right, we should only take morality from Islamic sources. All right, but for further researches, etc., to get a biological perspective, to get a sociological perspective, to get a political perspective, etc., you can basically refer to this book. Is my audio clear? Can you all hear me? All right. Now moving ahead. So now it is very clear, right? So since there are psychological and biological differences, it will definitely manifest in the way each gender views reality. Do you guys accept this? Since there is psychological difference, since there is biological difference, it will obviously manifest in the way that each gender views reality, right? Because we view reality with the help of the brain. If our brains are different, then obviously the way we view reality is also going to be different. Let me give you a very simple answer, an example, all right? I do remember going to Eid shopping with, a few of my family relatives, all right? Female cousins, and we had my aunts, my mother, etc. All right. So I was basically going to them, helping them out to reach a specific place so that they can, pick their dress, etc. Now, basically, we went to the dressing center, or shopping center, and I was just standing there. I'm pretty sure a lot of men here would be able to relate. Like when you go shopping, you just stand there and women pick out things, and you're just standing there, you're doing whatever you want. And I was just so bored, so I thought I'll just listen to what how they're picking their dress. All right, so basically, if I remember correctly, they were just picking their parda or something. All right, and they were saying about different shades of black. All right, but I was looking at the clothes and all I could see was just black. There was no different shades of black. To me, it was just black. It was just black, like, or green, or pink or whatever. But for them, they had light pink, dark pink, mid pink, or a lot of these things. All right. I was looking at that and I was questioning myself: am I colorblind, or like what is what is happening with me? And when I studied gender psychology, I did understand more about this. It was basically women can perceive color better than men. Women can perceive color better than men. But that's a reality. And there's a clear-cut difference between the way men think and women think. All right. There's a very clear difference. Women are more emotional, men are more rational. Like these are all very well based in gender psychology. Like there's no way to oppose it. And you don't need to feel offended at this. Don't take it negatively. Like these are all part of human reality. Right? Generally speaking, there can be exceptions, but generally speaking, this is the human reality. All right. So this difference of perspectives and perceptions manifests into the daily life of each gender innately. Right? Since there are clear differences in the way you perceive reality, your daily life interaction will also be different. Since there is clear difference in perceptions, there will also be differences in the way each genders view intergender relationships and interacts with each other. The way men view women is different from the way women view men. The way men view interaction with the opposite gender is very different from the way women view the interaction with the opposite gender. Do you guys accept this? If you accept this, say yes in the chat. If no, say no in the chat, and be very sincere when you answer. Right? This is all very clear common sense. Right? This is all very clear common sense. If I was giving this presentation 100 years ago, I would have probably skipped through all these slides because like this is all accepted. Right? But today, we have to make sure all of you guys are on the same page because, we are living in the gender wars, the age of gender wars. Anyway, so let's move ahead. Now, Islam is a very natural religion, all right? Since we have these biological and psychological differences, Islam takes into consideration this basic universal innate differences between the genders, right? So Islam is a very natural religion. It's a very universal religion. It takes into consideration things that are very natural, right? That is why in Islam, we have clear protocols as to how to relate to each other and how to interact with each other for a healthy and constructive functioning of the society. And this is very important. If we don't have these regulations that are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would be a huge calamity. It would be a huge calamity. And you will understand very soon why it is a calamity. So are we all clear on this? Are we all clear on this? Do you all accept that there should be difference in the way that men and women interact with each other? There should be clear-cut protocols. There should be clear-cut rules and regulations. These are not restrictions, actually. If you think from a wider perspective, these are prescriptions. These are prescriptions for the diseases that the society has, not restrictions. All right. So now, since we are all on the same page, let us start with another important question, which I'm pretty sure everyone will have a unanimous answer. Is it okay to have boyfriend or girlfriend in Islam? Is it okay to have a boyfriend or girlfriend in Islam? No, no, it is haram. It is haram, very clear. It is haram, like there is absolutely no doubt in this. It is absolutely no doubt, there is no doubt in this. It is not allowed to have boyfriend or girlfriend in Islam. Very clearly haram, very clearly haram. Premarital relationships are very clearly haram. There is absolutely no doubt in this. There is absolutely no doubt in this, all right? Okay, now let me ask you another question. Is it okay to have male or female friend in Islam? I'm talking about opposite genders, all right? So if you're a male, then I'm asking to you about having male friends. If you're a female, then I'm talking about having, sorry, if you're a female, having male friends. If you're a male, having female friends. So a lot of people are on one side, but I'm saying a few other side answers as well. Okay. So some are saying yes and some are saying no. So a lot of people are saying no. A lot of people are saying yes. Okay. So the people who said no, like what does that mean here? So men and women can't be friends. So what do you mean here? Like, are you saying that men and women have to be enemies? Like, each time you see a man on the street, like you'll take a stone and throw at him, like your arch enemies. Men and women are enemies, absolute enemies. You hate them. That is also a feminist argument, right? That is basically a fourth wave, ultra militant hegemonic feminism, right? Basically saying that, men don't deserve to live. Men are a waste of, space on this planet. Men are wasting oxygen by breathing, right? It's extreme, like what these guys say. Sorry, not guys. Anyway, even that is, offensive to a lot of people. Khair. So this specific question needs further investigation. It needs further investigation. Can men and women be friends? So what do we mean by friendship? What do we mean by friendship? What does it really mean? Answer the question in the chat. What does it really mean to be a friend? What does it really mean to be a friend? Share joy and sorrow, all right? Helping each other, all right? Someone you are comfortable around, a close acquaintance, a person to share our feeling, companion, to be there for each other, mashallah. Companion. So, okay, someone with whom you share similar views, person to help us in need, maintaining the trust and sharing. All right. So now itself, you see, people view friendship in a lot of different ways. We saw a lot of different definitions. All right. Now, the thing is, what we need to understand is friendship is basically an umbrella term. Write it down. Friendship is basically an umbrella term. Now, what do we mean by umbrella term? It means there are a lot of different levels with a lot of different definitions. That is what we mean by an umbrella term. When we say umbrella term, it means it has clear-cut categories. It has clear-cut categories, clear-cut classifications. Are all friendships alike? Are all friendships alike? No, right? It is absolutely different. The way that you interact with a very close friend of yours who has been there with you from childhood is going to be very different from the way you interact with a person, who is in your company, who's your friend, but still they're not that close to you, right? So it's very different. There are different dynamics and different levels and different categories of friendship, different categories of friendship. So what are these categories? Now, this is not a very objective scale, but this is just so that you can understand. All right, so there are multiple levels of friendship. There's level 1, there's level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and level 6. Let me explain what these levels are. All right, so each of these different levels have a difference of dynamics. All right, for example, let's start with level 6. So level 6 is basically the stranger friends, the stranger friends. All right, these people might be part of your company. All right, you may not even know their name, but each morning when you walk, you basically smile at them. All right, or maybe you go to the supermarket to buy something every day, or to buy a newspaper, and a person who is in the cashier, and you smile at them. You don't even know their name, but you're friends. So it's almost like a stranger friend, right? You don't know much about them, but you see them sometimes or every day, and you just smile at each other, right? So that is a stranger friends, which basically means you're not enemies, stranger friends, right? Then we have acquaintances. Basically means like the person, and maybe they're working with you. For example, you are working in a company, software company, so you're working in the programming department, and you have friends who are in the human resource department, let's say, and you know their name, and you know a little bit about them, what they're working, what projects they're doing, etc. Because you're in the company, you're basically acquaintances, you're basically colleagues. So you know much more about them. You may see them on a daily basis. You might smile. You might even say good morning, good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, etc. All right. So that is level 5 of acquaintance friendship. And then we have casual friends. Casual friends is basically, these people in different departments, they're working on the same project. So then, you start interacting with each other, and you start asking, each other their, whereabouts. Like, how are you? How have you been doing? MashaAllah, tabarakallah, you said, yeah, Eid Mubarak, etc. You greet them, you appreciate them, etc. So that is casual friends, level 4. Then we have level 3. We have level 3, which is good friends. Good friends means like, the guy, their family, and you are much more closer to each other than casual friends. All right, you're good friends. For example, the students who are all studying in your class, you might all know them, you may see them every day. You're good friends, but you're good friends. And then there's close friends, which means like the people who are sitting on your bench, all right, or the people who are very close to you. The good friends, the close friends who you share your maybe few secrets with. You may joke with those people, you might have fun with those people, and you share a level of friendship that is different from the good friends, the casual friends, acquaintances, and strangers. And then we have the level 1, which is intimate friends, which are very close friends. You share all your secrets, you know everything about each other. Like if you were in an emergency situation, you would basically call them up, even if it is late at night. You trust them, all right? You trust them. You share everything with them. You care about them. You really, really love them. If anything happens to them, you will be depressed. You'll be really sad, right? You'll be really sad. So these are the different levels of friendship. These are the different levels of friendship. Is it clear for everyone? So friendship is basically an umbrella word. There are different levels of friendship. There are different types of friendship. Is it clear for everyone? Now, we need to understand one more thing. That is, there's a difference between being friendly and being friends. All right? Being friendly and being friends. You have to be friendly with everyone. You have to be friendly with everyone, even the people you don't necessarily like. But does that mean you're friends? No. But that just means you're being friendly. That just means you're smiling to the person, right? That just means like you are looking at the person with a pleasant smile, with a pleasant face, right? So you have to be friendly with everyone, but that doesn't mean necessarily mean you are friends with them, all right? You're friends with them. Okay. Now, friendship is a very, very powerful thing. It can develop or destroy a person. It can develop or destroy a person. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, "Al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi falyanzur man yukhalil," which basically means a man is in the path of his friend. A man is in the deen of his friend. A man is in the madhab of his friend. And when I say madhab, I did not mean the jurisprudential madhab. What I mean is the path, all right, the path. So a man, the friendship circle he has around him really, really affects his altitude in his life, really affects his altitude in life. All right. Many people fail in life due to friends. I have seen this a lot. When I deal with people who are addicted to pornography or addicted to drugs or in this addiction cycle, many of them told me that they started due to their friends, due to their friends. And many people actually win in life also due to friendship. Friends who have a vision in life, friends who have a mission in life, friends who are value-based, friends who remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, friends who are basically companions of Jannah, right? Friends have a huge influence on who you are, your character, your personality, and your perception of life as a whole, right? This is why Islam has clear codes on friendship, right? That is why in Islam, like we say that you can't be friends with such and such people. Like we have clear-cut verses from the Holy Quran. We have a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ saying you should not friend these people. You should not friend these people. Why? You should not befriend these people. Why? Because they can destroy your life. They can really, really destroy your life. Friendship has a very powerful psychological hold on you. Some people think that if they join a bad circle, they won't change, right? For example, there was this particular case of someone entering into college, and this person says that they're in a very liberal college, and they have all the people in their class, they support LGBTQ. A lot of them, they use drugs. Most of them are in illicit relationships, all right? All the illicit, vulgar as nine things, all right? Now, this person once said, I'm a person who is on deen, and I basically pray every day. I do the sunnah fast, etc. So he's a very, very good Muslim, mashallah, right? And then he says, for the sake of having a social network, is it all right for me to join these friends, join this friend circle, right? Now the thing is, this guy is very positive, but the circle is very negative. What do you think has the probability of happening? Do you think the circle is going to affect him, or he is going to affect the circle? What do you think is basically going to happen? From a general perspective, there can be exceptions, but from a general perspective, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? The circle is going to affect him. The circle is definitely going to affect him. Definitely, no doubt. No doubt. Except if he is someone very strong. If he's someone very, very strong. It's basically like the mathematical equation that we learn in algebra. What is positive into negative? What is positive into negative? It is negative, right? Regardless of what high value the positive has, even if it is 100 into -2, the result is going to be negative, right? So what I'm trying to say is, Your circle has very powerful effect on you. That's why in Islam we have clear-cut protocols. Even when it comes to same gender friendships, Islam has protocols. Islam has very clear-cut protocols. In Islam, can you be friends with everyone on the same gender? No. You're allowed to have friends of the same gender if it doesn't affect your life negatively, right? So we have clear-cut codes. We have very clear-cut codes. So it's not only just for intergender interaction, it's also for the same gender interaction. But here today, we are going to be covering about the intergender interactions. We're not going to be covering about the same gender. We're going to cover about the intergender. The same gender interactions will be covered, inshallah, in the level 2 of IPD. So this IPD course is not going to end with this specific topic. A few people will be able to go into the level 2 of IPD, where in which you will be getting more information on this. All right. So now we're going to be covering about the intergender interactions. The intergender interactions. Now let me ask you: are we allowed to have friends of the opposite gender? Are we allowed to have friends of the opposite gender? Now, yes. Now when you answer, it's not like you answering before. Now you know what friendship means. We know that there is a general umbrella, right? There's different categories. Now, what categories are we necessarily talking about here? Let me ask, what level of friendship can we have with the opposite gender? What level? Give me a number. Is it level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, or level 6? Level 0? Oh, that is closer than intimate, man. We have level 4 and level 5. Some people are saying level 4 and level 5. All right. So basically, it's level 5 and level 6. And out of the need, it's level 4. All right. So basically, level 5 and level 6 generally, and for the need, level 4. For the need, level 4. Only if a need arises, because imagine that you're working in the same project, or for the same project. Obviously, you will have to interact with each other to a degree, etc. We'll cover what these are, inshallah. There are a lot of nuances in the topic. But there are a lot of nuances in the topic. So basically, it's 5 and 6, and sometimes level 4. But the sad thing is, if you look into the colleges, we very clearly see level 3. We very clearly see level 2. Like people just doing it, right? People just doing it. Sitting together, going for, laughs together, going for trips together, right? And they think that there is no harm in this. What do you guys think? If I say that there is harm with level 3 friendships for women, would you guys call me an extremist? Would you guys call me an extremist? Well, the truth is there are people who call me extremist because I said this, right? They think like you are someone, like you're an extreme Dini fanatic, but an extreme Dini fanatic because I said this. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to look at this specific topic from a psychological perspective. Let's see how men view these friendships and how women view these friendships, and it'll give you an insight that is extremely deep. It is going to be an extremely deep insight, inshallah. Inshallah. Okay. Now, going ahead, we need to understand that this friendship, it depends basically on how you define friendship and what level of friendship you are talking about, right? It is all right to be friendly with the opposite gender. Now, what I do mean by friendly, not the friendliness of level 3, but the friendliness of level 5 and level 6. All right, level 5 and level 6, right? But does that mean they're necessarily your friends of level 3, 2, and 1? No, right? Now, this might seem a bit confusing for some people. Don't worry, we'll get all of this clarified, inshallah. You might be thinking to yourself, what is a big deal here, man? In my college, I'm having a lot of friends who are males. We talk each other, we talk with each other, we, basically even handshake with each other, we go for trips with each other. They sometimes call me sister. So what is the big problem, right? We have this big trend, right? Sisters and brothers, right? Sisters and brothers. The boys say, you're like my sister, right? And the sister, basically the girl basically says, oh, you're like my brother, like the big brother, or even the small brother, whatever. Anyway, so, they basically have this kind of mentality. Now, is this mentality justified? Is this mentality justified? Is that mentality okay? Before we directly get to or jump to an answer, let us view it and let us study it. As Muslims, we are not blind followers. If I say something, what you guys are supposed to do is you got to look at the evidence. Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah once said, Istadil wa'taqid. Istadil wa'taqid, which basically means look for proof, look for evidence, and then believe. That's how Muslims are. That's how Muslims are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a brain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a brain. But then when we look for evidence and we find that it is established in the Quran, it is established in the Sunnah, then are we supposed to question the divine? Then are we supposed to question the divine? What do you think? Then are we supposed to question the divine? So imagine that I told you something, you looked for the proof, you saw Quranic words, you saw a lot of scholars saying the same thing, you saw it in the Sunnah, a hadith, etc. And then you say, come on, how can the Prophet say it? Can you say that? No. Astaghfirullah, no. We say, sami'na wa ata'na. We hear and we obey. But at the same time, we are allowed to seek the internal wisdom behind it after we accept it. So that's the basic methodology. Number one is look for the proof. Istadil wa'taqid. And secondly, sami'na wa ata'na. And thirdly, to look for the internal wisdom so that we can understand it a bit more deeply and imbibe it a bit more deeply. And this seeking should be very sincere. It should not be a seeking where in which you're skeptical about the Prophet, where in which you're skeptical about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. Allah created you, man. Allah knows your psychology. Allah knows your physiology. Allah knows your sociology more than you. And Allah knows all these contemporary situations that you're going to fall into. All right. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says something, don't say that this is impractical. Don't say that this is extreme. Don't say that this is fanatic. Understand that it's your logical and rational limitation of your mind, right? And you can understand more about it through rational and logical inquiry. There is no problem in that. At the same time, stop questioning it as if the Prophet ﷺ is lying, as if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is lying. Ma'adallah, astaghfirullah al-azim. But that is a very bad, nature of epistemological inquiry. Right. Anyway, so that's also a different topic. We're not going to be discussing that, inshallah, here. But, I just touched on that. I took that small tangent because, it came in the topic. Khair. So it basically depends upon how you define the friendship and what level of friendship we are talking about. Now, when we look around ourselves, we live in a very, very liberal world. Very liberal world, right? There is no boundaries whatsoever in the campus, in the workplace, in the schools, wherever it is, no boundaries. But they say men and women can sit together, they can shake hands together, they can put their hands across the shoulder together, they can go for trips together. There is no problem even if a man and woman sleeps in the same room in isolation. They said no problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. And it's very sad. It is very, very sad, right? And anyone who opposes this, they're going to be sidelined, they're going to be segregated, they're going to be called names, they're going to be insulted. And I speak from experience. I speak from clear experience, and I could give you the most funniest of experiences that I had. Once, we had this competition in our college. It's called a Speak for India. All right. So I was representing my college, and basically it was a debate. It was basically a debate. Now I was debating with the opponent, and we were given a specific topic. It's a topic related to politics. So we were called to the stage, and they basically take the toss, and I am presenting a topic for the motion, and she's presenting the same topic opposing the motion. All right. So I'm not the person who chooses my opponent. Basically, it's tossing. All right. It's probability, based on probability. All right. So we basically had the debate on stage, and then basically, according to the protocol, we're supposed to shake the hand, and then we're supposed to go. Now, this is a huge crowd. Like the entire hall is filled. The entire hall is filled. Right? I don't want to say which college it is, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know which college it is because I studied there. And I've written posts about that particular college. It's very sad, the trajectory of this college. Anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. So, we were supposed to shake hands, and the person opposite to me, she was also a Muslim. She was a hijabi, right? Now, how should I be, what should I be doing? Should I be shaking the hand or should I not be shaking the hand from an Islamic perspective? Should I be shaking the hand? Should I be not shaking the hand? I should not be shaking the hand, right? Now, this is a huge crowd. So basically, we were supposed to shake hands. So she came close, and basically she extended the hand. I was basically expecting her, because she was a Muslim, I thought this was well understood in the religion, that you should not be shaking hands with the opposite gender. But she extended the hand, but I did not extend my hand. And I just kept my hand on the heart, similar like that. There are different techniques, right? You can keep it on your chest, you can say it like that, etc. Right? Like it. But what basically happened was the crowd went like, oh, like, just making a huge sound, as if I was the most extreme fanatic misogynist in the entire world. I was oppressing the womankind, right? I was responsible for all the oppression that happened for women in the 21st century, right? They just basically made a huge noise. And she kept extending the hand, but I did not, because it was haram, right? So I just did like this, and I just turned away and I just walked, right? So this is basically in a college that has, I won't say an Islamic environment, but it has an Islamic background. The person I was dealing with were Muslims. Even then, this was a problem. Even then, this was a problem, right? It's very sad. It's very sad, right? But for non-Muslims, like, it's a very common issue, right? For example, I went representing the college for a seminar presentation in Bangalore. So this was in the headquarters of Bosch company. So we had that competition, and basically we won, alhamdulillah. And the judge, there were a lot of judges. One of them, she was a woman, and to congratulate us, she came to give the hand, and I did not extend my hands. Now, this is not Islamic environment. This is like the most liberal environment that you can get. Bangalore, the hub of liberalism, right? And in Bangalore, one of the most, a company that obviously has a corporate environment, right? Now, they extended the hand, and basically I did not extend. I just kept it on my chest. But this time I had learned my lesson, all right? To avoid other person being offended, I have to clarify. So what I basically did was, I told them that I'm a Muslim, I'm not supposed to do, I'm not supposed to shake hands with the opposite gender, etc. Right? And it was clarified. I don't know how they took it. I don't know if they were insulted, but judging or based on the smile, I think they were a very open person, and they might have accepted it. Being inclusive of the Islamic values. So that's basically the situation. All right. Now, how to deal with this? Number one, it is through proper education and awareness. Now, a person doesn't necessarily need to be a liberal to basically know that shaking hands is wrong. Even people who are Muslims, who are not given this proper awareness, who are not liberals, may not even know this, may not know this. I do remember while I was, on a travel. So it was not last month, it was basically 3 months ago, I was on a travel in Egypt. So I was basically it was on a bike ride. So the bike ride was from the north of Egypt to the south of Egypt, covering all the 1,400 kilometers. So we visited a lot of villages. Now, are these villages liberal? No, these are just mere villages. All right, these are not developed areas. There is no influence of liberalism, or they don't even know what liberalism is. They don't even know what feminism is, right? So we were basically, invited as a guest to the man of, to a villager, all right, to the house of a villager. We went to the home. It was a very beautiful, hospitable people, mashallah. Very selfless people, very kind people, very, mashallah, really good people, really good people. These are simple people, or these are simple people. They may not know a lot about religion. Of course, they are Muslims. They know how to read the Quran because they are Arabs, but they don't know about all the jurisprudence. They don't know about the rules and regulations. And it's sad, they may not be aware of this because they don't have education, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability and opportunities to learn Islam. This is very important. So while we were leaving the home, they were all really happy, extremely, extremely happy, mashallah. We all became good friends. And, they say, if you're coming again, ta'al ila buyutina, ahlan wa sahlan, you're like a family, etc. Beautiful people, mashallah. Now, when we were leaving, everyone in the family, it's a very large family, they all came to greet us. So they all came to give us, say salam to us, right? Because it's the adab, it's the akhlaq. When a guest is leaving, you have to give them salam. You have to, be with them until they leave, make dua for them, etc. Like Muslims, they are very hospitable people, right? Okay. Now, what basically happened is the man gave me his hand. I shake his hand, say, Assalamu alaikum, barakallah feek, jazakumullah khairan, Allah yahtikum al-afiyah. The boys, the young boys in the home, they also give the hand. Now, what basically happened is when the boys gave me hand, there were a few girls in the home as well. And there was also a young girl, I'm pretty sure she's 18 or 19 or as such. She also gave me the hand. Now, was it because of the effect of liberalism? Was it because like she was a feminist? Was it because she believed in gender equality? Was it because, she did 4 years of sociological study and became a hardcore feminist? No, it's just because she doesn't know innocently, right? She doesn't just know, right? So when she gave me the hand, I did not give the hand, but I put it on my hand, and her mother was near, and I said, يعني في الإسلام المصافحة مع النساء لا يجوز, and I just explained it in the most simple sense, and they said, oh, in Islam we have that, خير. They basically accepted it. They were not arrogant about it. They did not basically say, Ya Wafi, you're this, you're a murhib, you're a fanatic, you're an extremist, you're an anti-feminist, you're a misogynist, you're a patriarchal, segregated, focusing, gender inequality, promoting a hegemonist. That is not what they said. They just said, khair, mashallah. If it is wrong in our religion, then of course we have to stick to that, right? That is what they said, right? So it's not always a liberal effect. It can also be due to a lack of awareness, all right? Now, coming back to the topic, we have clear boundaries in our religion, but very sadly, there are no boundaries in our college. There is no boundary in the campus. There's free mixing. There's workplace culture, right? Like there was a funny incident that I got during counseling. Now, of course, I'm not belittling this counseling. I take it all seriously. But, this was a very interesting case. It was about a divorce, case. There was basically a marital, situation that was on the verge of divorce. And what instigated it? What triggered it? What basically happened was the husband got a call, all right? The husband got a call. Now, for hypothetical, reasons, let us give the name for a husband. This is not the name of the husband. I will protect their identity, because in counseling, confidentiality and privacy is the number one thing. But let us give him the name Mujib, all right? All right, for the sake of letting the example. So let us give him the name Mujib. So what is his name? What is his name? Comment in the chat. What is his name? Mujib, all right? So basically, the guy works in a company, and, obviously there are, opposite gender and everything, right? Now, what basically happened was Mujib was there and his wife was also there. They were basically going on a car, by going to some place, and the phone was connected to the speaker of the car, right? Now, Mujib basically got a call from a lady in the company, right? This is the funniest thing. Now, what basically happened was he took the call and he forgot that the phone was connected to the speaker. And when he took the call, the lady opposite to, lady who called, hello, how are you, Muju? How are you, Muju? Right? She was using a pet name or something, right? She was basically saying Muju, right? Now his wife was shocked. What? Like, what is Muju? Why is she calling you Muju? Like, why is there no boundaries here? Well, it's so funny, right? Anyway, that basically triggered the divorce, right? And it's still going on. The wife is asking lakhs of rupees from the husband, and he really regrets not drawing a intergender line, right? Like he really wished he did not take that call, right? It was funny to listen to. Anyway, it's also a sad reality, all right? Let's not make fun of this. So what I'm trying to say is this is all very common. You considering your female colleagues as your friends, going for trips together, laughing with each other. Allah al-Musta'an. This is very destructive. This is very destructive sociologically. This is very destructive psychologically. This is very destructive in every way possible. It is very bad for your spirituality as well. All right. So we live in this liberal world. Now, how do we navigate in this liberal world? That is a huge, huge question. How do we navigate in this liberal world? To understand that, we need to be properly aware about a lot of rules and regulations, inshallah. We've got to understand the dynamics of intergender relationships. We've got to understand psychology. We've got to understand how men perceive relationships and intergender interactions, and how women perceive intergender interactions. These are all things we will need to cover, inshallah. That will be covered in the next session. We'll be stopping this session now. Hope it was beneficial for you. So basically, do understand that in Islam, we have only two genders. Basically, understand that there are clear-cut gender differences, and also understand that since there are psychological and physiological differences, it will manifest into the sociological reality, right? So make sure to understand this, think about this, introspect about this, inshallah. We will cover more on the dynamics of this. We'll cover more on the dynamics of this relationship and how to professionally interact with each other, right? By following the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is very important. We got to understand what is haram and we got to understand what is halal. This is very important. So by understanding that, we'll be able to build a healthy relationship. This is very important for a constructive society. It's very important for a constructive society. So we'll cover all of this in the upcoming sessions, inshallah. With that, we conclude for today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to interact with the opposite gender in the most healthy manner possible, in the most constructive manner as possible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Sahaba, the Tabi'een, and the Salaf al-Salihin. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all enough iman and ikhlas and ihsan to stand strong to our deen and not compromise on the principles of our deen and not make excuses for our deen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the courage, canter, and confidence to hold very strongly to our principles. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from the fitna of this liberal world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all from the fitna of the intergender relationships. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إننا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب عمل يقرب إلى حبك. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Jazakallah khairan kaseera for this beautiful session. We have covered various different topics starting from the definition of man and woman. There are more sessions up to come. I now invite Sister Fadia for the conclusion. Apologies, it seems like Sister Fadia is having some kind of network issues. So we have covered with the topic of gender relation and interactions. We hope to see you all in next sessions. Jazakallah khairan kathira for joining. Jazakallah khairan kathira, Brother Wafi, for this wonderful session. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayka. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.